Martin and Michael. Michael has talked about, are we tough enough? Are we good enough? Hard people, nasty. I don't use the words that was written down here. Why not? Michael, because it's going to be recorded. I don't want to swear on here, but you used something about hard-nosed bees. Something like that. I'm sure we can fill in the blanks. And obviously, the results business. You know, we've had a tough season this season. Obviously, you have ambitions next year. Martin referred to the word, that horrible word that begins with R and ends in G. You know, from your point of view, how do you see it as the results business, and are we hard enough?
Just to answer the hard enough one first. It's a funny thing. When I said I spoke to a friend and a colleague of mine outside of the region and asked him about his view of us, that's one of the things he brought up. You know, he did feel that on occasions we were a soft team. A couple of reasons for that. You know, I think probably you can be at your most aggressive without the ball at times. And we've already said that we're going to look to change things defensively, become far more aggressive rather than passive without the ball. And that will give our players a better opportunity to show, mentally how hard they are and how tough they are. But it is something that I have highlighted to the group. I think in the last couple of games they stood up and showed that they're capable of it. I do believe that we are tough enough. When I look at the makeup of our squad, there are players in there who are as tough as anybody out there, but I think by restructuring some of the stuff we do, we will allow them to maybe exhibit that. And we have to be tough, At the end of the day, no matter what else we do, no matter how we want to play the game is a very physical game, and if you can dominate the opposition physically, you're going to get the upper hand. And we need to be prepared to do that. I think we work very hard in the gym. Our strength levels are as high as anybody's. And we just need to get a little bit nastier. That needs to be a side to this team that really needs to come out next season. And again, that's one of the areas that we've targeted.
I think I've tried to cover everybody's questions. If there's areas that I haven't, feel free now to plonk your hand up and I'll come over and you can ask that question. A lot of you had asked similar questions, so I didn't name you. And I'm going to come up to the back here because I saw an arm coming up, working my way, but I did try and cover everybody's. Right, do you want to ask it yourself?
Yeah. Hey boys, as you know, I'm secretary 16, and I was asked by somebody on Scarlet Fever to ask this question tonight. The guy lives in the Far East, so he's a great Scarlet supporter, but obviously he doesn't see many games, probably something to do with volcanic ash, he can't get home. But anyway, I'll read the question out in full. I know you've answered some of it in the presentation, but he says, we're often referred to as a young team, and in terms of average age, we wouldn't have many games where we're older than the opposition. In reality, though, we haven't actually blooded that many teenage semi-pro players this season, notable exception of Tavis and one game for Gareth Davis. You may be a bit wrong there. Do the team think the gap for players to make the step up at that age was just too wide? Or was it a case of having to play our best, most experienced team week in, week out as a session for some good expectations? And two, is it a plan to introduce some of the younger guys in pre-season, next season, or will we try and play a more experienced age group? Your thanks for your time, Will Chips.
The whole purpose of looking at Clelly RFC is as an important part of the regional development is the case in fact here. This season, between Llanelli, Carmarthen and Llandovery, we played 23 players under the age of 20 across the three teams in the Premiership. It's quite unique. If you look at any other region, that doesn't even exist. But there is a pathway and there is a time, and there is a time when a player is ready to be exposed. And getting the balance right and getting the circumstances right for that player to take that first step into regional rugby is key. It's critical for me. I think if you do it too soon, I don't think it's fair on the regional team or the player himself. So getting that timing right is a skill, and it's important that we, in the meantime, expose that player to the best environment that he can actually keep his development going in. Next season, we are taking a step forward with Llanelli. We're going to separate a little differently from Carmarthen and Llandovery. What we're going to do next season is look at a more daytime training environment with our 10 development players. 8 of them will play with Llanelli. The coaches currently appointed for Llanelli next year will be Rob Appleyard and Kevin George. They'll be working with those players in the week, day to day, on the technical and tactical development and on the video analysis development of their personal games. So we have to use the environment we got. We realise that some of these younger players next season will need to play professional rugby, but we have to make sure that the timing is right and the environment that they're playing in currently can service their needs. And that's what we are trying to achieve, and I think that's what we are trying to do with the Llanelli RFC partnership in the development role it plays for taking the regional young players to the next step.
Last summer you obviously signed Sean Lamont, quality signing. From what you've said tonight, Gareth, does it mean that there's less money in the pot this time this year than there was this time last year?
In real terms, there's a little bit more. Not an awful lot, but it doesn't make a great deal of difference. But I also said that we've had to re-sign some key players, and that has taken its toll. We get great value for money with our development players, and we hope that they accelerate through the system very quickly. But we can sign those 10 development players for the price maybe of one top-end player. So we have to balance the books that way. And that's basically where it is.
When young player named himself the Carmarthen Cowboy, is Ken the new Carmarthen Cowboy?
Well, you are in the Player of the Year status as well. How are you coping with this, being up in the spotlights, Ken?
I think Garen covered this in recent the Scarlets Golf Day, and I don't see myself as a Carmarthen Cowboy, but I think the rest of the squad does, and Garen's obviously renamed me the Carmarthen Cowboy, so...
You could be the Carmarthen Cowgirl if you wanted to be.
No,
shit. Milkmaid or something like that, no?
I haven't given myself that name, but it's mainly Garen Evans.
Are you coping with the spotlight of being running for Player of the Year as well? Is it a difficult mantle?
No, not really, because it's just the views of people and what they think, and it's nice to be up there and have accolades like that. That's why not. I don't play rugby for that. I play to win the games and have success for my teammates and the supporters, not personal achievements.
Good answer. Good answer. That's just how you always. You can have that line. Let's not go on UK. Sure. Gents, I'd just like to hand over to Paul Sargent just to wrap up the evening.
Thanks, Rup, and thanks, Rup, and gents, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, definitely we've got a business Scarlets business forum in about 48 hours' time. But your attendance here is much appreciated tonight, and giving your time. Thank you for that. If you could show some appreciation for the guys on the stage. I do believe we've been pretty open. Covered quite a range of topics. And thanks to the guys for being as open. There's obviously one or two issues we've not been able to touch on. I think we've still got some food left at the back. The bar is open, and obviously we will be milling around. If you've got questions that you didn't raise in the last hour and a half, 2 hours, feel free to approach us. We're here for the next probably about the next 15 minutes, half an hour. But thank you all very much for your attendance again.